Hi everyone, and welcome to Paper Pumpkin Week here on Creative Chelsea. Over the past few days, I've shared some great alternatives ideas that you can make with the October 2025 Paper Pumpkin Kit called Cozy Christmas. Today, I'm sharing with you my 8th and last card idea. The projects from this kit are really beautiful, and it creates a total of 9 greeting cards, 3 in these 3 different designs. If you'd like to watch me unbox the kit and create these cards, you can click on the playlist in the top right corner. I have made, like I said, a total of 8 alternative cards with the contents from one set of cards. So if you're interested in seeing a cutting template on how to cut up the card bases so that you can make all 8 alternatives, you can get that for free below in the description or on my blog, creativechelsea.com. So I really wanted to play around more with the die cuts from the Abundant Joy coordinating die cuts. So I wanted to create this wreath, and I love how it came out. I used the scraps from the pattern card bases to cut out the leaves, which gives them a little more interest. I would love to be your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and if you're interested in getting your own Paper Pumpkin subscription, please use the link in the description below to subscribe. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is emboss a piece of basic beige cardstock, and I'm going to use the Forever Plaid embossing folder. You could use any design that you have. And this piece of basic beige is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm just going to go ahead, once it's embossed, and add it to the front of my basic beige card base. Just like that. Next, I'm going to take a piece of crumb cake cardstock. This is 2.5 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and I'm going to stamp it with To the World Greeting. And we're going to stamp at the bottom. We're going to do 3 at the bottom and 2 at the top. And we just want to stack them so it looks like they are, it's like a pattern. But we don't really need to do more than that because our wreath is going to cover it up. And then if you want, you can do a little splattering. I'm going to use pecan pie blend. Or you could use a little water mixed with your pecan pie Stampin' Spot, the ink from that. You just open it up, put it on a clear block, and then mix it with some water and you can splatter that. So you're going to get something that looks like this, and we can just pop this on to the center of our card base with some dimensionals. That looks pretty good. And then we're going to start making the wreath now. So I'm going to use a silicone craft sheet, and I have cut out using the Circle of Seasons circle die from the leftover back piece of the envelope. And that's going to be the circle where I'm going to add my die cuts to create the wreath. It's nice to have a little bit of a shape that you can follow. So I've got some white sprigs. There are 5 of these. I have some garden green ferns that I've cut out, and then I have some green card base, that pattern from the card base in the kit. I've done 8 leaves, so there are 8 ferns, 8 leaves, and 5 sprigs. And I'm going to start with a leaf, just anywhere. I'm going to put the curve of that leaf along the curve of my circle. Do you see that? Then I'm going to take one of the sprigs and layer that just a little below it. Just about like that. Okay. Then I'm going to repeat that, going to the next one. And go to the next fern. Here, I'll show you the leaf. And then the next fern. And then the next leaf. And we should have about 4 leaves on half, and then that will give us 4 for the next. So we're not quite at half yet. It's actually pretty easy if you have the circle to help. Okay, so you see how we're about half here? That's exactly what we want. If we use any less, then our wreath doesn't feel very full, and we want a nice full wreath. So we just kind of keep going. All the way down. Just remember that when you add these leaves, that you match the curve of the circle, okay? That's going to keep the wreath in the right shape. Oops. All right, and then our last one, you might have to lift up the first one to adhere it. So just feel free to move things around a little bit to get that last fern and leaf in there. There we go. So cute. I love the combination of those two shapes together. So now we can add this to our card. I like using my silicone craft sheet because if any of the glue dots that I used get stuck, like are on the outside, then they don't get stuck because the silicone craft sheet pulls that adhesive right up. So I'm going to pop this up with dimensionals. And it just goes right in the center. There's this line that you might have from the envelope. I'm going to use that as just a guide to keep it straight on my card. Isn't that so cute? Okay, next I can add my little sprigs. There are just 5 of these. So don't add one to the top because we're going to be adding our ribbon. So I'm going to put one on each side, kind of where the ribbon will be. You might want to tuck these going different directions. Let me put this one going a different way, maybe coming down, just to give a little variation to the wreath. Like I said, there's no real right way to do this. Just pop it in. If you don't like it, you can kind of pop it out. Those feel like they're going the same way, so I'm going to move it to go this way, I think. You can tuck them behind or over the leaves. You can use all 5, or you can just use 3 or 4. Whatever feels good to you. I think I want this one to kind of cover up this little opening here. And then one more. Whoop. Some of these glue dots are really strong, and I've noticed they've pulled like the last little bit of my cardstock off, my die cuts. I've had it happen on a couple of them. Let's put this one here. There we go. So cute. Okay. I also have a Joy cut from the same Abundant Joy die set. I added some dimensionals to the larger spaces, and I'm going to tuck that right in the middle. I want to add just a little wink of Stella to the top of that. And this could be cut in any red color. I used real red, but you could also use cherry cobbler, or you could use poppy parade. Any red cardstock color is perfect for that. Okay, so for my bow, what I've done is I have 24 inches of, actually just 20 inches. I've got 20 inches of ribbon, and this is kind of like a gold thread type baker's twine. If you don't have something similar, you can use anything that you have. So I find the center, and I'm going to create some loops, and I need to create some big loops because I'm going to make a double bow. Okay, so I've got some big loops here using the whole, that side. I'm going to make another one just like that. Okay, so I've got a double bow, almost like if we were making a faux bow. Then I'm going to take one side and make a knot. So bring all that side together. Let's see. You definitely want to make sure the knot is in the center. So I've got 2 loops and 1 tail. They're all together to make the knot. So we're making a knot with the whole thing. Okay, just like that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that's just a fun, quick, easy way to make a double bow. And we can add that right to the center of our wreath with a glue dot. Up a little higher so that you can have a little space to bring down and open it up just a little bit. So you end up with something that looks like that. And then if you have any sequins left over, you can add these around the wreath as well. So I'm going to just pop on a couple. On my original, I kind of doubled them up, but I noticed that I was getting a little low on them. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I might add one more right here. There we go. So your card is all done. I just love creating this cute little wreath with some of the contents from the kit, and especially using those Abundant Joy dies. Well, if you're interested in getting written instructions or seeing close-up images on how I created this card, you can visit my blog, creativechelsea.com. If you would like to subscribe to get your own paper pumpkin kit, you can do so using the link in the description box below. Thanks so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.